Oh, had me burping to start with, hadn't even begun yet. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to my Sunday night news stream. We've got some interesting stories to look at. I hope you think they are anyway. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're live on YouTube, let me check. And make sure, yes we are, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Rumble. Let me check that as well. Yes, we are. And we're live on Twitch. Huzzah! Let me just share this bugger. There we go. Right. Right. So later on, I'll upload it to Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Links for all the stories in the description. And later on, I'll put timestamps in and all that stuff. I'm also on F. What am I on about F? Yes, F. I'm also on Facebook, X. I wouldn't say X and then get out as F. X and Instagram. Links in the description for those as well. As are the links. Hang on, I can't get hold of them. There you go. Come here, you buggers. As are the links for me 2 books. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire. Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. They're on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Just a bit of fun. Give them a whirl, if you don't mind. Right, let's get on with it, shall we? I'll make myself titchy tiny. And we'll get on with the news. Tonight's news, should I say. Right, let's get started. Right, first up. This is from StarWarsNewsNet.com. Josh Atkins is the author. The Mandalorian. This is the big news of the last couple of days, or it seems to be, until Doctor Who happened. The Mandalorian Season 4, rumoured to be reworked as a movie, could release before Daisy Ridley's Star Wars film. Right, in a surprise turn of events, the rumour mill is suggesting that the 4th season of The Mandalorian might turn out to be the next Star Wars movie instead of the one starring Daisy Ridley as Rey, which I think's probably not going to happen, but you never know. According to Jeff Snyder on the hot mic, I presume that's some sort of podcast, I don't know. Yes, it looks like it. That might be what's happening. He claims the odds are in its favour that a movie of The Mandalorian is on its way in place of a 4th season. Or maybe it's as well as, I don't know. But anyway, claiming that this new development may be influenced by the disruption caused by the writers and actors' strikes earlier this year. In addition to that, he also stated that this would come out ahead of Daisy Ridley's new Star Wars movie starring Rey. Starring Daisy Ridley, featuring Rey. The original plan was for the next installment in the Din Djarin story to be a season of TV. As Jon Favreau has said, earlier this year the scripts were all done. Snyder says the strikes may have changed something since then. Sorry, I'm just going to say it. Jon Favreau said the scripts were done. Are Jon Favreau's scripts ever done? I think he just writes them down on he's got this little notepad, probably just writes it. Notes. Write a script. I think that's what happens with Jon Favreau, to be completely honest. But since then, though stunt double Brendan Wayne posted last month, who I think is the grandson of John Wayne. Is Patrick Wayne his dad? I don't know, whatever. He's related to John Wayne anyway. Brendan Wayne posted last month that season 4 of Mando is getting ramped up. Notice he didn't say something vaguer like just The Mandalorian. And there he is, looking at that little bloody thing. It also makes you wonder what is becoming of Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie, which was supposed to wrap up the events of the Mandoverse in an epic finale for The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and the Ahsoka series. Would this new movie replace his one, or simply precede it? Theoretically, there's no reason we couldn't get a standalone Mandalorian film before the big finale film, but it would threaten to rob Filoni's film of some of its grandeur if there's already going to be another film releasing that features the same characters. Maybe it's just going to be a film on Disney Plus. Could be. Doesn't have to be theatrical, does it? Earlier this week, we shot down rumours on social media that Daisy Ridley's movie would begin shooting in April. We covered that on Wednesday, didn't we? We had a look at that. Productionlist.com say it's going to start shooting on April 7th. What are we doing there? Go away. What's happened? What's happened? Stop it. There we go. April 7th, they said. But anyway, though there's no direct correlation between that and the Mandalorian shooting schedule, the Charmin Obeyed Chinoy directed film could still come out in May 2026, as we've been assuming, as the Mandalorian Season 4 should be ready to come out in 2025 anyway. I still suspect that it's not going to happen, is the Rey film. But as I said, you never know. You never know. And there's a tweet from Star Wars Newsnet saying that it's incorrect. The productionlist.com page is incorrect. And I said, at the time, it's probably subject to change. And maybe it was just like penciled in for that date. Maybe they had to give it a date of some sort to get, the wheels in motion, so to speak. But anyway, I don't know. Right, this rumour does raise more questions than answers, but it's certainly possible that The Mandalorian Season 4 could turn into a movie, especially if Jon Favreau already knows the general story. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. I mean, they might. I mean, what would stop them just doing movies for Disney Plus? Instead of doing like a, what were it, eight episode season, do 4 movies for Disney Plus. They cost the same, wouldn't they? But spread them out over the year instead of having them, for 8 weeks. Spread them out over the year and have a movie. And each would end on a big cliffhanger for the next one that's going to come out in, I don't know, 3 months or whatever, 2 months. That's a thought, isn't it? But they won't do that because that's too sensible, in my opinion. But anyway, so there we go. It's just a rumour. It might happen, it might not. Probably not. Right, we'll move on. Apologise. Oh, crikey. Oh, yawning. Oh, I'm shattered. I've been busy today. Cleaning and stuff. My sisters are calling tomorrow with Christmas presents. So I've been running round cleaning up. So I don't want to think I live in squalor, which I do, but not while they're here. Anyway, right. Hang on, I've got another story somewhere. Where's that gone? I've lost a story. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. There we go. Here it is. I forgot to add it to the list. Well, it's in the list. It's in the description, but I forgot to add it to me page. Doctor Who next. Next couple of stories are Doctor Who based. This first one is about the new Doctor's sonic screwdriver, which looks bloody awful. Doctor Who officially introduces Ncuti Gatwa's sonic screwdriver. Doesn't look nothing like a screwdriver. I don't know what it looks like. It looks rubbish. The new Sonic has a distinct look and features a Rwandan proverb written in Gallifreyan symbols. Why? Because Ncuti Gatwa was of Rwandan heritage. But the Doctor's not of Rwandan heritage, is it? After Doctor Who's shock twist, which saw the Doctor bi-generate and is essentially split in two, but sharing clothes, with both the 14th and 15th Doctor, 10th Doctor, 15th Doctor continuing to coexist, the 14th incarnation sauntered off to live a slower, happier life with Donna and her family. I didn't mind it. It wasn't the best thing ever, but, it was fine. As he did so, he took with him his sonic screwdriver, meaning that the 15th Doctor needed a brand new device. Well, each Doctor gets their own new screwdriver, don't they? Now, Gatwa has introduced us to his sonic in a behind-the-scenes video. In the video, Gatwa introduces the sonic, calling it a magnificent piece of Gallifreyan technology that helps the Doctor through all his scrapes, and has lots of useful nooks and crannies too. It's not supposed to have nooks and crannies. It's supposed to have a button and a blue light on the end and makes a noise. Gatwa says that his favourite thing about his sonic is a message that is written in Gallifreyan symbols, which is a Rwandan proverb translating to the sharpness of the tongue defeats the sharpness of the warrior. That's why. I mean, fair enough, but why? Is it because, diversity and all that? Would they do it? Did it have a Scottish proverb on for Peter Capaldi or David Tennant for that matter? I doubt it. The new Sonic is powered by a purple crystal. So is it a what was it now? Electrum. Is it an Electrum screwdriver? 'Cause that's what Mace Windu's lightsaber was, wasn't it? In as what equates to, in Gatwa's words, a USB port. Oh, for God's sake! Meaning the Doctor can connect it to other technologies, but he could anyway. All he did was like point it at something, and it made it work, or made it do what he wanted it to do. It was essentially a magic device, wasn't it? Anyway, the new screwdriver is notably flatter than most and is made up of a combination of colours, including dark blue, gold, and silver. It looks like a phone, doesn't it? It's like a rounded phone. That's what it looks like. As seen in the Giggle, Gatwa's TARDIS is also slightly different to the 14th Doctor's, notably incorporating a jukebox. And there's an image. I'm sorry, it looks rubbish. It does. It's awful. It's not a sonic screwdriver at all. It's not. It's something else. It's his tricorder, isn't it? That's what it is. However, showrunner Russell T Davies has been quick to clarify that despite the TARDIS duplicating, this is still the old TARDIS. He said in a commentary for the Giggle, "I think if I'm any judge of fandom, people will worry that that is a new TARDIS and not the old TARDIS." If you watched it, spoilers, it got a big mallet, like a big Harley Quinn mallet, and hit the TARDIS and made it duplicate itself, which was a bit silly if you ask me, but never mind. As I said at the time, if you watch me, I did the live stream reviewing the episode, and I said I thought it was fine, but some bits of it were a bit annoying. He should have just gone into another room, shouldn't he, in the TARDIS? Like, open the door, because there are plenty of doors that we've seen in the new TARDIS control room. Gone through, seen another control room, because the TARDIS can rearrange itself, can't it? And he could have started it up, disappeared. That room could have disappeared and become, I don't know, something else. And then the new TARDIS appears behind the other. That'd have worked. That'd have made more logical sense to me, even though it doesn't really make a whole amount of sense. It'd be better than him hitting it with a bloody mallet. Anyway, as I said, I didn't mind it. I didn't hate. No, people are hating it on the YouTubes and all that, and Twitter, but I didn't mind it on the whole. Anyway, where were we? Not the old TARDIS. Shoot his TARDIS, and I'm here to say, in a story to come, there is proof that it's still the old TARDIS. Doctor Who will return for the church on Ruby Road on BBC One at 5:55 p.m. on Christmas Day. We saw a trailer for it where they're going up against like goblin pirates or something. I'm sure it's fun. But to be honest, I'm not really looking forward to shooting Gatwa. From what we saw of him, he's not filling me with. He's not David Tennant. Let's just put it that way. Those anniversary specials, David Tennant ruled them. It was amazing, I thought. But Shooty Gatwa, I'm not sure. If he keeps calling people honey, it's going to put me off. I'm sorry. Just is. I'm sorry if I sound like an old fart. But it's going to put a lot of people off. It is. But anyway, let's move on. We're sticking with Doctor Who. What's this one? I haven't read this one, so I haven't read the other one either. I haven't read any of them, but I skimmed through. I was curious about the sonic screwdriver, so I had to have a look. That's how I knew I hated the look of it. But this one, I've not read this one, so I don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Right, off we go. Doctor Who fans think the Giggle ending paves the way for a familiar face. And I'm thinking, are they talking about the Master? Because at the end, I forgot to mention it in my review. Stupid skipped over that bit when we were going through the episode, and I forgot to mention it. The Toy Master said that he had the Master. Remember him? Not Toy Master, Toy Maker. Said he had the Master trapped in a gold tooth. And then at the end, the gold tooth, after they dealt with the toy maker, the gold tooth was on the floor, and somebody with presumably a woman with red nail varnish on picked it up, and it went bling, a bit like the end of Flash Gordon. So but that Missy picking it up, don't know, or somebody else. I don't know, but they left that open. So is that what they're talking about? I don't know. It could be. anything. Right, warning, this article contains spoilers for the third 60th anniversary special of Doctor Who The Giggle. This is on Indy 100, Liam O'Dell. Right, David Tennant. Sorry, I'm not feeling too cracky tonight. Me and Aidan, we've had a McDonald's, and it's made me a little bit iffy. I keep saying I'm just going to stop eating them, but can't help myself. Anyway, right. David Tennant's final outing as the 14th Doctor, at least for now, has sent Doctor Who fans into a frenzy. After Russell T Davies' story, The Giggle, introduced the concept of bi-generation. Bit daft if you ask me, but... And it were a case of they didn't want to explain it because he just said, I thought it were a myth, so that were a case of, a story for another time, because they haven't thought of it yet. Anyway, bi-generation, which saw Tennant and incoming Doctor Ncuti Gatwa share a scene together rather than Gatwa replace Tennant completely. And he ran around in his underpants for the rest of the episode. And nobody even mentioned it. Anyway, after Neil Patrick Harris's evil toy maker... Oh, excuse me, sorry. I shouldn't have had it, that McDonald's. I shouldn't have. After Neil Patrick Harris's evil toy maker fatally wounded the 14th Doctor with a giant ray gun. No, a honking space gun. That's what I call it. The Doctor split into two people to defeat the adversary with a game of catch. And while Gatwa's 15th Doctor carried on, they played a game of catch with what was essentially a god, and he fumbled it. This is the man, I'm saying I enjoyed it, but as I said, some bits did annoy me. The toy maker is a being, I'm saying a man, is a being that can turn bullets into rose petals and stuff like that, and yet he fumbled a ball thrown at him. And lost. Maybe he wanted to lose, don't know. Anyway, and while Gatwa's 15th Doctor carried on travelling across the stars in his TARDIS, he's set to appear in the Christmas special in just over 2 weeks' time. The 14th Doctor and his TARDIS parked on Earth for a bit to put his feet up after a lot of running and trauma over the years. The Giggle ends with his Doctor relaxing in the Noble's garden over some food and remarking, I've never been so happy in my life. Must have been. I got a little bit chin wobbly there. But with Tennant's Doctor taking a break from fighting monsters across time and space, Whovians have speculated that this could explain how the Doctor becomes a character known as the Curator. And I think it was Windgrace mentioned it yesterday on my review. Go and subscribe to his channel, search Windgrace Project. I think he mentioned that. I could retire and be Jordan King. I could retire and be the curator of this place. I really think you might. Oh, RTD, you clever man. You clever man, is that tweet? So did he say that? Oh, no, that's what Matt Smith said, didn't I? Could retire and be the curator of this place. And then we saw Tom Baker, who was the curator. Right, okay, get past all this. Right, for new Who fans, or those who could just do with a reminder, the curator, played by the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker, was introduced in the 50th anniversary special of Doctor Who, The Day of the Doctor, back in 2013. The Doctor, then played by Matt Smith, sits in a museum and ponders, I could be a curator, I could retire and do that. I could retire and be the curator of this place. The curator then responds, I really think you might, or in a Tom Baker voice. Really? Sierra? The interaction has already been brought up as the 60th anniversary specials aired, as Baker's character teased that in the years to come you might find yourself revisiting a few faces, but just the old favourites. This, of course, being seen as a nod to Tennant playing both the 10th and 14th Doctor. If I were you, perhaps if I was you, of course, or perhaps you are me, the curator continues. In the behind-the-scenes show, the Doctor Who Unleashed, writer and showrunner Russell T Davies explained that the bi-generation plot means Tennant is parked. Why? He said, for once we've got a happy Doctor who is no longer saving the universe, but is parked with Donna for a happy life, while the Doctor, which is always the next Doctor, and that's always true of Doctor Who, the Doctor is the next Doctor, is out amongst the stars. Davis also said the whole new, but I bet the next episode comes back to Earth, doesn't it? Davis also said the whole new timeline generated as a result of the Doctor effectively splitting into two. Why? So the adventure continues with Ncuti Gatwa at the helm, next appearing in the Christmas special The Church on Ruby Road alongside new companion Ruby Sunday, played by ex-Coronation Street actress Millie Gibson. I don't know. Why having two Doctors mean that a whole new timeline has been created as well? Why? That doesn't seem to make a whole amount of sense, does it? Going into another timeline, he should have winked out of existence from this timeline, shouldn't he? Really? Technically speaking. But anyway, whatever. Paves way for a familiar face. So they're talking about him, Tom Baker, then. Is that what they're talking about? I thought they were going to go on about the Master. Maybe Missy or, somebody else. John Sim, etc. Whatever. I don't think Tom Baker had come back, to be honest. They didn't even have, in the Tales of the TARDIS, they didn't even have a Tom Baker episode, did they? So, anyway, whatever. Next. Right, what's next? Oh, Battlestar Galactica's next. Din. Don't know why there's no image there, but never mind. What the Battlestar Galactica reboot needs to work and honour the original, explained by the producer. Exclusive executive producer Sam Esmail, can you read it? Explains what his new Battlestar Galactica reboot needs to work and honour the original show and its previous reboot. Right, Sam Esmail. Yeah, it's a bit old-fashioned sounding. That's my Moby Dick, doesn't it? Executive producer of the planned Battlestar Galactica reboot has explained what the show's latest incarnation will need to work, based on the cult science fiction show that originally came out in the 1970s, 1978 to be precise. In 2003, the Sci-Fi Channel commissioned a pilot for a fresh reimagining of the show that first aired as a two-part miniseries. This, in turn, would lay the groundwork for the immensely popular and critically acclaimed 2004 reboot that ran for 4 seasons and spawned several spin-offs, which, it were great. It were great, wasn't it? For the most part. But my brother didn't like it because the Cylons essentially mostly look like normal people. And I was, what a cop-out. It's like the Invaders, isn't it? Making them look like us. But it worked. It worked. In 2019, Peacock announced the property would be receiving a second reboot, this time with Mr. Robot creator Esmail assuming control of the franchise. During a recent interview for his apocalyptic thriller, Leave the World Behind, which I've just been told is really good. Quite good. I think it's on Netflix, I think. Esmail, I've not seen it. Esmail spoke exclusively with Screen Rant about his work on the upcoming Battlestar Galactica reboot and what his show will need to do to live up to the legacy of Ronald D. Moore's beloved 2004 version, suggesting Moore's version was one of the most perfect TV shows out there. I won't go that far. Esmail reflected on how his predecessor was able to use science fiction themes to create a timely allegory for a post 9/11 world and suggested his show would need to find something similar. Check out his comments below. Right, quote. Yeah, Ron Moore's was to me one of the most perfect TV shows out there. And I think what made it really work was how smartly he created this sort of allegory between post 9/11 and then using sci-fi to kind of explore those themes. And we have to do something at that level. Because, if you're doing it, because it's about the destruction of the colonies of man. So it is kind of, apocalyptic, isn't it? Because for me, following in his shoes, it's a huge undertaking. So if it's not up to that caliber, then there's no point in making it. So we're kind of figuring that out now, and we're trying to figure out, what is relevant today that Battlestar could be a great allegory for. Well, there's nothing today, is there? Really? I know one thing, but I dare say it, so I'm not going to. Something to do with, over there in the Holy Land, what's happening. That could be you could use that as an allegory. Some people trying to wipe out another people. But don't get me started. Anyway. And I'm not saying which side is trying to do the wiping out. It could they're trying to wipe out each other, so we'll leave it at that. Anyway, right. What else? What else is happening today, though, apart from that? Ukraine. But nobody's talking about that anymore, are they, for some reason? People have moved on. Right, and there's Starbuck. Played by, what's the face? I forgot to put the name now. Yeah, her, anyway. Despite earning a slew of awards and going on to become widely regarded as one of the best science fiction series to come out of the early 2000s, when news first broke that Star Trek writer Moore was crafting his own reboot of Battlestar Galactica, the reception was not entirely positive. While fans of the original were keen to get behind a proposed legacy sequel project, Battlestar Galactica The Second Coming, that had previously been developed by original star Richard Hatch, when Moore first screened a 5-minute preview of his own 2003 miniseries at 2003's Galacticon convention in Los Angeles, he was met with a largely cool reception from those in attendance. Note: Battlestar Galactica The Second Coming was a proposed pilot film that would have picked up from the events of the original 1978 show and feature several returning cast members alongside a new generation of pilots, probably eschewing what happened in Galactica 80, because that happened like 30 years after, didn't it? So this is probably set in between. Or maybe they're just forgetting that Galactica 80 ever happened. Trading the original show's trademark sci-fi pulp sensibilities for a far more grounded militaristic approach, Moore would also come under significant fire for electing to transform the handsome, womanizing Captain Starbuck, Lieutenant Starbuck, get it right, into Katie Sackhoff's hard-drinking and insubordinate Kara Starbuck Thrace. There's a lot of people were quite cross about that, but she ruled the role, didn't she, Katie Sackhoff? Lieutenant Starbuck, get it right, Screen Rant. But Captain Apollo, wasn't it? But Lieutenant Starbuck. I was saying the UK Lieutenant. Though both Sackhoff and Moore would ultimately prove their doubters wrong. Yes, they would. The initial reaction, Moore's approach to Battlestar Galactica received highlights how protective sci-fi fandoms can become of their favourite properties. You can't win, essentially. No matter what you do, you can't win. While there is currently no clear indication of what route Ismail may take with his approach to reinventing Battlestar Galactica for a second time, it is possible that when those details finally do arrive, the Mr. Robot creator, which I've heard is really good, I've never seen it, Mr. Robot. It's got I forget his name now. Won the Oscar for playing Freddie Mercury. It's in Until Dawn, which I'm playing now on my PS5. That game. What's his name now? Rami Malek. Is it? Rami Malek. The Mr. Robot creator. I've heard it's good, but I've not seen it. The Mr. Robot creator may also find himself in a very similar position to what Moore originally had to face. Hopefully, however, Ismail will find exactly the angle he needs to make his reboot a success and will overcome any hesitation from overprotective fans of the franchise, just like Moore did before him. So you can't win. You can't please everybody. So you should really just do what you want to do, really. And because people are going to complain about it. And if some of the complaints, if you agree with some of them, then fair enough, make changes. If you think you're right, then, bugger them. Because you're not going to please everybody. Is that it? Oh, there we go. And there's just some info about Battlestar Galactica. So there we go. So I wonder when that's going to happen. If ever, I don't know. Does it say when it might happen? It doesn't really say, does it, when we might see it? But I'll be interested to see what they do. It's a funny one, though, isn't it? Because, like I say, it's not been that long. Well, 20 years. Less than 20 years since the other reboot happened, which is still, as it says, is beloved, isn't it? Probably more so than the original series, which, were enjoyable, but were a bit hokey, wasn't it? And Galactica 8 is virtually unwatchable, apart from the return of Starbuck, which is the final episode. But anyway, I'm interested to see what happens with that. We'll see what happens. Right, we'll move on. We'll power through. Where's F11? It's there. What's this one? It's a Star Trek one now. A couple of Star Trek stories. What we got left? Star Trek, Constellation, which is a new series coming on Apple TV. Rebel Moon, Adam Drivers, couple then Star Wars, and then some game news. Right, so we'll carry on. Right, Star Trek. Indiana Jones's short round auditioned for Star Trek Voyager, says Harry Kim, actor. I did you say Garrett Wang? I know he pronounces it Wong, but I pronounce it Wang. And I called him that. My son did at a convention, and he didn't say anything, so it's fine. Right. I don't know how to pronounce this. Ki Hai Kwan. I'm getting it wrong. I don't know. I just call him Jonathan. He's also known as that, isn't he? Who played Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, auditioned to play Ensign Harry Kim on Star Trek Voyager, confirms Garrett Wang. Yes, I'm going to keep pronouncing it that because we said that to him, and he didn't say anything back. He didn't say, it's Wong. Anyway, who won the role? Also known as Jonathan K. Kwan, K was best known as a child star in the 1980s because of Indiana Jones and his role as Data in The Goonies. It's a film I've never really liked. I think I did it, didn't I? And the Monday Moan, go check my playlists. I've got lots of playlists on my channel. If you go to the playlist tab, they're all in there. Appointment with Fear, Monday Moan, Magnificent Mondays, games I've played, etc. I forgot what I want now. Kwan has recently experienced an incredible career comeback, winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've tried watching that, and I didn't get very far. For some reason, I don't sound horrible because he's a beloved actor and people love him, but I don't like him. I'm sorry. I don't know. He rubs me up the wrong way for some reason, and I don't know why. But anyway, whatever. Kay also won, or Key, I don't know, just said Jonathan, also won raves for his role as Ouroboros in OB in Marvel Studios' Loki Season 2. I didn't like him in that either. He was fine in Indiana Jones because he was a kid, so I suppose you could cut him some slack. And he was funny. But anyway, in the premiere episode of the Delta Flyers podcast recorded in 2020, Star Trek Voyager's Garrett Wang recounted to his co-host and co-star Robert Duncan McNeil, Tom Paris, the arduous process of his audition for the role of Ensign Harry Kim. Wang says Paramount tested every Asian actor for Harry Kim, including future Oscar winner Short Round. Check out his quote and watch the video of the Delta Flyers with Wang's story starting around the 21:39 timestamp below, but we'll do the quote. And the crazy thing is, I saw every Asian person on the planet audition for Harry Kim. I saw Short Round walking out of the building from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, right? And also Goonies, Data. It was Data in Goonies. I saw him, I was like, it's Short Round. He's auditioning for Ensign Kim. I actually saw the actor. His name is Jonathan K. Kwan. I saw the actor at a convention about a year ago. We were talking, and he was like, wait a minute, you're the one who booked the Voyager role. So he still remembers that. Megan said, whoever that is, I don't know. Megan said, you should do a show together about two Asian actors that have been big in the past. Well, he's kind of big now, isn't he? But I suppose at the time, he wasn't, you know. Key, Star Trek Connections. Key's Everything Everywhere All at Once. Co-star is a new Star Trek icon. Yes. Is this going to go? No, right. Short Round. What are you up to? Are you being naughty? Sorry, it's me cat. She's being naughty again. Short Round may have missed out on the role of Star Trek Voyager's Ensign Harry Kim, but he has a notable Star Trek connection all the same. Kwan's co-star in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm going to have to try and watch it, get through, because people say it's really good, don't they? Michelle Yeoh plays Emperor Philippa Giorgio. I think she won the Oscar as well, didn't she? Yes, it says down there. In Star Trek Discovery, Giorgio, a reformed tyrant who hails from the Mirror Universe, set up Yeoh's experiences of multiverses, which is central to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like Short Round, Yeoh won an Academy Award for Best Actress, and she used her Oscar clouts to make sure her starring role as Giorgio in Section 31, Star Trek Section 31, the first made for streaming on Paramount Plus Star Trek movie, will happen. Get it done. It was supposed to be a series, but now they're just making it a movie, and then I bet they end up not making it at all. To be completely honest, hopefully, I don't want to see it because I'm not a big fan of Empress Philippa Giorgio. I liked her as Captain Giorgio, but that character died, unfortunately. Garrett Wang, recalling a suggestion on the Delta Flyers 3 years ago that he and Short Round should do a show together about two Asian actors that have been big in the past, is now funny and ironic, considering the stratospheric rise Short Round has experienced thanks to Everything Everywhere All at Once. He distinguished himself, I know I don't say that, yet again in Loki Season 2. And Kwan is now one of the most in-demand actors in Hollywood after decades in the business. It's fascinating to think about what could have happened if he was cast as Ensign Harry Kim in Star Trek Voyager and the direction his career could have taken. So there you go. So we nearly had Short Round as Harry Kim. Or did we? I mean, how did his audition go? Maybe it were crap. Maybe they didn't like him either. Maybe Rick Berman is like me and doesn't like the actor. Well, he's fine, but as a person, he's fine. I don't like his performances. That's how I'll put it. Because I'm just a horrible person, obviously. Right, let's move on. Before I bury myself any further. Right, what's next? More Star Trek. Jonathan Frakes. This is from, by the way, the previous one was from Screen Rant. This one's from the Digital Fix. James Osborne. Right. Jonathan Frakes had one huge ongoing issue with Star Trek The Next Generation. Jonathan Frakes is a Star Trek legend for his role as Commander Riker in The Next Generation, but he thought his series has a major flaw. Star Trek icon Jonathan Frakes is one of the franchise's most consequential actors. Alongside the likes of William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, he shaped the creative direction of the TV and movie series as a frequently returning director and is responsible for some of TNG's greatest moments. Yes, he directed some great episodes. Naturally, then, Frakes has a lot of opinions about Star Trek. It has, after all, defined his career and the careers of the entire Star Trek TNG cast. One of those opinions is that his Star Trek series was severely hampered by a huge ongoing issue that made it hard to live up to the adventures of Kirk, Spock, and Bones. There was never any tension or conflict between the main characters. Well, there kind of was, but, it was never brought to the fore, was it? People disagreed. That's about as far as it went, isn't it? Reflecting on the lack of dramatic conflict between the Star Trek characters during a conversation with Trek Movie, he said that was a huge ongoing issue. That was Gene Roddenberry's direction. One of the things that makes drama is conflict, and he was adamant about not having conflict inside the family. But they kind of did, though. We're always having conflict, weren't they? They're always like admirals popping up that, that were baddies and stuff. And so they did have conflict in it. But I think it means between the core cast, probably, because it was an ensemble, wasn't it? That's probably what he meant. He continued, and I'm wondering if we didn't miss opportunities as a result. That was an ongoing struggle with all of us as actors, and I think for the writers as well. It is hard to have everyone get along all the time and make it interesting. Frakes' thoughts and regrets make for fascinating reading. Fans of the TNG era will immediately think of moments where there was a conflict between the core cast of characters. There was Picard and Worf's friction in the Drumhead, an episode Frakes himself directed. Yes, a great episode as well, like a bottle show, and one of the best episodes of The Next Generation, or Star Trek in general. But it wasn't really friction. It was Worf. An admiral came aboard and started thinking of this conspiracy going on, and she kind of got Worf on her side. Pardon me, or Worf believing her side of the story. but there wasn't really friction as such. It got a bit tense, but I wouldn't say there was friction. And it all worked out in the end. And Riker and Shelby's friction in the best of both worlds, which is fair enough, they didn't get on, as well as the ongoing tension between Pulaski and Data. I don't know. Pulaski and Data. I don't know if there were tensions. I don't know. She was just fascinated by him more than anything, I think. Riker and Worf in later seasons. Was there? I don't know. Because Worf, towards the end, Worf was dating Deanna Troi, wasn't he? But I don't know. Ro Laren and the rest of the crew, which is fair enough. She often rubbed people up the wrong way, didn't she? And other specific moments like Wesley Crusher's fundamental disagreement with Picard in Journey's End, and it's where we saw him leave, thank God. Seeing these conflicts change the dynamics between characters was always fascinating. However, for the most part, each new episode would reset the dynamics back to baseline. This was key to TNG's episodic formula, which is one of its main strengths and also an occasional limitation. And was also vitally important to Roddenberry, who wanted to portray a professional, optimistic, utopic, as in like a utopia, view of Starfleet. And there's Lieutenant Commander Shelby. Elizabeth Shelby, who was going to be an admiral, and she's not dead. She didn't get killed by the Borg, according to Terry Matalas, even though she was shot twice at point blank range. But anyway. Ultimately, too, Frakes got his wish for there to be more conflict between characters in the recent Picard Season 3, a central plot point. As the TNG characters reunited, focused on disagreements between Riker and Picard on how best to save the USS Titan A from the threat posed by Vadik. In the episode 17 seconds, this reached its crescendo as Riker tells Picard, "Remove yourself from the bridge. You've just killed us all." But then the next episode, they were fine. They were kind of annoying, to be honest. But Picard Season 3 were good. Easily the best of the Picard series. But it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, it's the kind of moment fans never got to see in The Next Generation and allowed Frakes to bring more variety and depth to Riker, demonstrating why he was so keen to have this chance in TNG. So here's the question then. Would you retroactively add more character conflict and drama to TNG if you had the chance? In our view, TNG is one of the best TV series of all time, if not the best, and tampering with its format would be risky. After all, the series was at its greatest when it acted as a platform to tell a new sci-fi story each week with a single cast of characters that turned out to be magic. What do you mean, would you retroactively? I don't want to remake it, have they? I don't think they are, anyway. So, but yeah, like I said, I think what Roddenberry wanted, he didn't want the core characters to have conflict, did he? Which, essentially they didn't. Others came in and sometimes stirred up a hornet's nest, but as it says in the article, it were all reset for the next episode, wasn't it? Which is the way it's always been with episodic television. Right, let's move on. But very interesting. Right, what's next? The Mary Sue were on next. And lots of adverts, because I had to disable my ad blocker, I think. The Mary Sue, Britt Hayes has written this one. Apple TV teases its next great sci-fi series. If it's one thing that Apple TV seems to be good at, it's making sci-fi, isn't it? Apple TV Plus subscribers are spoiled for choice when it comes to great sci-fi series. The streamer definitely has a type. And Constellation, a new series starring Noomi Rapace. It's Rapace or Rapace? I've heard it pronounced Rapace as well, but I don't know. And Jonathan Banks is ready to become your next sci-fi obsession. Is that her in this new film, or is that her in Prometheus? I don't know. Apple TV has announced its next sci-fi series, Constellation, coming to the streamer on February 21st, 2024. The series was created by Peter Harness, Doctor Who, and directed by the great Michelle MacLaren, a prolific television director whose credits include Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and Westworld, as well as the Apple thriller series Shining Girls, starring Elizabeth Moss. Constellation stars Noomi Rapace, or Rapace, whatever, as an astronaut who comes back to Earth following a disastrous mission, only to discover that key pieces of her life seem to be missing. Although described by Apple as an action-packed space adventure, the plot description and the first official photos, or maybe that photo is from it then, indicates something more akin to a sci-fi psychological thriller. The series also stars Jonathan Banks of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fame and James Darcy. Was that Jonathan Banks? Oh, yes, I know. Yes, it's Mike, innit? Yes, I'm thinking I know the name and I couldn't think who it was. Yes, it's him. Yeah. Oh, it should be good then because he's good. He's good him. Here's the official plot synopsis for Constellation, or Constellation. Constellation stars Reprise as Joe, an astronaut who returns to Earth after a disaster in space, only to discover that key pieces of her life seem to be missing. The action-packed space adventures and exploration of the dark edges of human psychology and one woman's desperate quest to expose the truth about the hidden history of space travel and recover all that she has lost. It's like a conspiracy thriller then or something. Is it? What's he looking in the mirror for? I bet that changes. I bet something happens and he sees another reality. It'll be something like that, won't it? Constellation joins a growing collection of acclaimed sci-fi series from Apple TV Plus, including Silo, which I've heard is good. Might have to look that up. Foundation, which I saw for season 1, and it were all right, but I've not got around to season 2 yet, which was just renewed for season 3. Monarch, it started off well, but it's not. Last couple of episodes I haven't liked at all. And For All Mankind, which is a masterpiece, currently in its 4th season. Max may be the one to watch, but Apple TV Plus is quickly cementing itself as the one to watch for good sci-fi. So there we go. Yes, keep an eye out for that because, as I said, Apple TV seems to be good at doing sci-fi stuff, particularly For All Mankind, which is brilliant. Right. Let's move on. I've nobody joining in tonight for some reason. Maybe everybody's off doing Christmassy things. I don't know. Or maybe everybody's fallen out with me. Don't know. But anyway, nobody in the chat. I'm shouting into the wilderness. Right. Rebel Moon next. Off we go. We are going now. Yes, we are going. We are live. We are live. Yes, just nobody's watching. Never mind. I'll plod on. Netflix's big budget Star Wars rival will launch even sooner this month. I was curious, so I had to check. It's a few hours. Zack Snyder's Epic hits Netflix this month, and there's Sophia Boutella, who I do like. It's probably the main reason why I really enjoyed Star Trek Beyond. She was great as Jailer in that. But you wouldn't recognise her. She was all made up as an alien. But she was good in that. And she was good in Atomic Blonde, and I suppose she was all right in The Mummy, but the film itself was rubbish, wasn't it? She was good in the Kingsman, that one, the first one. Right, Sci-Fi at Christmas has a bit of a mixed record. Oh, by the way, this is what's this on? T3, Andy Sansom. Sci-Fi at Christmas has a bit of a mixed record for every one magical Doctor Who Christmas special. There's a Star Wars holiday special. Hey, don't knock the Star Wars holiday special. It's amazing. Which nearly killed off the franchise in the 70s. No, it didn't. Hyperbole, mate. And watch it, it's amazing, especially after you've had a few drinks. Oh, crikey, this McDonald's. Oh, it is sitting heavy. Been to the loo. Too much information, I know, sorry, but anyway. Netflix will be hoping that's not the case with its upcoming Zack Snyder-helmed blockbuster Rebel Moon. It was originally expected to arrive on one of the best streaming services on the 22nd of December at 8 a.m. GMT, which is British time, after a brief theatrical run. But now it will arrive at 3 a.m. GMT. This early release is nice for night owls, but mainly helpful for the United States, where instead of waiting until the stroke of 22nd of December, audiences can tune in on the evening of the 21st. Yeah, so that 3 a.m. GMT is 10 p.m. Eastern time, isn't it? And 10, it's 7 p.m. Pacific, which is nice for you lot in America. Anyway, the script is in fact based on a Star Wars movie Snyder had planned, but which never came to fruition. And once you hear what it's about, you'll see the similarities. Yeah, I've said before, I've wondered, did Zack Snyder actually go to Lucasfilm and say, "Hey, I've had this idea for a Star Wars film," and they just kicked him out? Or is it just, did he just say, I had this idea for a Star Wars film and thought, no, I'll just make it my own film? I suspect it's probably the latter, to be honest. Anyway, Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, to give the movie its full name, follows Cora Sophia Butella, a former Imperium, read Empire, soldier, who settled on a peaceful farming planet. When her old bosses come to the planet, it falls to Cora to assemble a team to defend these humble folk. And we've seen in the trailer, there's a trailer there, if you want to watch it. We've seen the trailer where she kicks ass. And I've heard people moaning already about it, saying, she's another girl boss kicking ass, beating up men. But we've seen that lots, haven't we, in films? We've seen, the Underworld films. We have what the name? Celine, Kate Beckinsale. She goes around kicking ass, doesn't she? We had Carrie Ann Moss kicking ass in the Matrix films. So what's wrong with slight women? Beating up big men. It's sci-fi. It's action. Anyway, so yes, it's very Star Wars. Is that yes? It's very Star Wars. There are even heated laser swords, but that's no bad thing, especially when the cast features big names like Charlie Hunnam and even Anthony Hopkins. Sir Anthony Hopkins are on board. This is no vanity project either. Netflix has bet big on Rebel Moon. The movie has an estimated budget of $150 million, which makes it one of Netflix's biggest projects ever. In fact, if you search for Rebel Moon on Netflix, you'll already see the second installment subtitled The Scargiver is coming on April 19th, 2024. And Scottish Geek Guy's here. Yay! How's it? It's going fine. Yes, I'm looking forward to Rebel Moon as well. I hope it's really, really good. I think some people have seen it, haven't they? Been like previews, haven't they? That I've seen on like Twitter and not Twitter, X and all that. People at a premiere thing, and people are saying it's really, really good. So hopefully it is going to be. As you might expect, December is a big month for Netflix. Not only did it see the conclusion of its Squid Game reality show, which I've not seen, but also the arrival of a superb Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore-led drama, which I've no idea what it is. I have no idea. No idea. Don't know. Not seen it. And there's today's best Netflix deals. Netflix. Netflix. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, so that's the gist. It's coming earlier, a few hours earlier. So the people over in America can watch it, at a reasonable time in the evening, rather than staying up till midnight or whatever. Right, let's move on. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's really good. As I've said before, I like Zack Snyder's films. I've liked all of the films he's done, even the rubbish ones. Right. Right, here we go. Adam Driver jokes. Wokeness killed Han Solo in Saturday Night Live monologue. And here is the... I probably can't play it. I've not actually watched it. I forgot. I was going to watch it. I got busy doing stuff. And I forgot all about it. But I'm sure this article will tell us. This is on Deadline. Armando Tinoco. Cool name. Adam Driver was back on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live. Saturday was back on Saturday Night Live and referred to not killing Han Solo in Star Wars The Force Awakens. The Star Wars alum got into the Christmas spirit and explained why it was his favourite holiday of the year. I'm so excited to be back, especially during this time of year, Driver said during his monologue. I love Christmas. It's my favourite holiday. The food, the music, the family. But largely it's because I have a very deep and personal relationship with Santa. Driver went on to explain that he has a special ritual with Santa where the actor tells the North Pole resident his list. The girls' alum, I like that word, don't they, alum, and me, then made a joke naming a past Saturday Night Live cast member. I usually do it in private, Driver said of his ritual with Santa. Since we're here, and I know Santa watches SNL, he hasn't liked it since Chris Kattan left. I've no idea who that is. Driver then proceeded to make his Christmas list, singing it to Santa, accompanied by a piano, where the actor showed off his skills. As he sang his list, Driver then noted, I liked for people to stop coming up to me on the street saying, you killed Han Solo, I didn't kill Han Solo, Wokeness killed Han Solo. Driver's comments about Star Wars come after his appearance on Max's Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, where he mentioned this happening to him regularly. Somebody reminds me about that every day, Driver joked on the show. Not every day, but yeah, it used to be more, but it's now probably once a month somewhere. Driver also talked to Wallace about how it was filming the scene with Ford, saying obviously John Williams' score wasn't playing in the background and it was very emotional, actually, shooting it with Harrison. Harrison was so generous and contemplative, and to me that was a great moment on set, even though it was his death. Or was it? He didn't die. He fell. And we know if you get run through with a lightsaber, you can survive. And we've seen people fall and survive. So he's still around somewhere, even though it blew up. It got beamed out. We know there's teleport technology. Well, they've talked about it, haven't they? Well, Luke mentioned it in A New Hope. So maybe there are teleport devices. Maybe Rey force teleported him somewhere and he's fine. God. See if we can find it on here. I don't think we're allowed to play it. A lot of it. Hang on, see if we can find it.
Kim, that's a cute one. You can tell your kids that one. Oh, I should also say as an aside, another thing I love about Christmas is eggnog. It's my favorite way to have egg. Whenever I go to a diner and they say, how would you like your eggs? I say, nogged.
Anyway, I'm trying to find the bit with Han Solo.
Actually, I totally forgot. I got you a gift this year. It's my new movie Ferrari, which opens...
Probably gone past it.
Hey, do you think a gingerbread man gets scared when he realizes that the house is made of his own skin?
Anyway, whatever. I don't understand. Wokeness killed Han Solo. How did they figure that out? I don't know. I've seen if there's any context in the song, but I don't know. I don't understand the how wokeness killed Han Solo. J.J. Abrams killed Han Solo. Harrison Ford killed Han Solo, and then came back, didn't he? In Rise of Palpatine. But anyway, right. Let's move on. Right, give up. What's next? Hey, Steve Star Wars. This is on comicbook.com. Hang on. Patrick Kavanagh has wrote this article. Star Wars Hera Syndulla actress shares her excitement about getting to reprise her role. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is excited but isn't getting her hopes up. Oh, right. Hera Syndulla became a beloved character over the course of 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels, and the pilot finally made the jump to live action with Star Wars Ahsoka, as played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. What a great character in that, though, was she really? While Ahsoka was billed as a limited series, some fans are hoping that this was merely the beginning of the character's adventures and that a season 2 is just over the horizon. And even if Winstead is tempering her expectations, she recently shared the many facets of Hera that she'd get to bring to life in another project. Regardless of what might be in store with Ahsoka, a movie from Dave Filoni has been announced that is expected to connect the dots between the various Star Wars TV shows that take place during the time of the New Republic. I know it's a bit up in the air at the moment, though, isn't it? But we'll see. There's such a wealth of experiences that we could bring to her in terms of either going back and showing a bit of her backstory of what led up to the moment where we see her in Ahsoka, or at least just feeling it through, getting to know where she's at now in her journey. Can I read? For some reason, I struggle to read that sentence. Winstead shared with Collider, "It's so hard to talk about without giving away things that might have been discussed in the past. All the fans of her and of Rebels know that there's so much that can be done with that role. So I would be really excited to get to go down that path." Prior to her Ahsoka appearance, Hera was teased in both Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Star Wars The Rise of Palpatine. In Rogue One, her name was mentioned, wasn't it? The Hera over the tannoy. "General Syndulla, please report to the command centre," or whatever. And we also saw the ghost ship a couple of times, and we saw Chopper as well in Rogue One. And in Rise of Skywalker, I think we saw the ghost, Lando's fleet that arrives mysteriously. I don't know how it got there, but because she's supposed to fly, you're supposed to have this Sith thing, this thing that sort of charts a path through this passage to get to where they were. Obviously, they didn't need that, did they? Stupid film. And I think the ghost were among the fleet. I think that's what they're talking about. Right, based on the characters Ahsoka focused on, many fans saw the project as essentially being a live-action Rebel sequel, which it was, as it also saw live-action appearances of Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren, who became the greatest Jedi ever. In season 3 of The Mandalorian, Rebels Zeb Aurelius made an appearance. For like a second and a half. Went to all that bother to do all that amazing CG with him. And so people thought it's definitely going to be in Ahsoka. Not in it. So it seems like it's just a matter of time before Rebels' entire Ghost crew reunites in live action. Winstead also went on to detail what it was like working with Filoni. "He's pretty open when it comes to things he would like to do. He lives and breathes Star Wars." Yes, which is why I'm thinking Lucasfilm's just going to do Star Wars from now on, because Filoni would have made the creative whatever. I forgot what they call it now. Creative chairman, I don't know, the head of creative for Lucasfilm, wasn't it? But anyway, he lives and breathes Star Wars, and there's an infinite amount of things that he would like to do that he could do, and his brain is firing on so many levels, Winstead pointed out. "I just try not to get too caught up in it, because you never know what's really going to be able to be accomplished and what's going to make sense within all the storylines. I just wait until they call for me, and then I'll be like, oh, cool, they're actually going with that idea, or, oh, I guess they decided not to. I just try to go with the flow, but it's great to get little hints at his process and his frame of mind. It's really cool. Stay tuned for updates, blah, 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 blah." Well, it'd be nice to see her again, I suppose, even though she wasn't great in Ahsoka. Or she just kept doing what, I'm a general, I can do anything. That was basically, that were her role in Archmage phrase here. "Still going. I just left Godzilla. I hope it was an amicable breakup." Oh dear. Was it good? I bet it was. I still wanted to see it, and I can't. Anyway, where were we? Hera Syndulla. Yeah. So as I said, whatever. She'll either be in stuff or she won't. She didn't really make an impression in Ahsoka, but then again, not many of the cast of Ahsoka made an impression, even Ahsoka herself, because it wasn't really her series; it was the Sabine Wren series, wasn't it? Right, let's move on. Archmage phrase left Godzilla. I hope Godzilla's not too cut up about it. Right. A few days ago, you might have seen on YouTube, it was the Game Awards 2023, which is like an industry thing, into game industry thing, where they all give awards to games and stuff. And there were loads of new trailers for they used it as a platform for new trailers for upcoming games. So there's stuff like Monster Hunter Wilds, which my son is really excited about. Anyway. Yes, shed a few manly tears. Cool. I say I really want to see this new Godzilla film. Godzilla -1. But it's not happening. Have to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray or streaming or whatever. Anyway, Game Awards, right? So we're just going to go through this. This is from the Game Awards website. Oh, you can't see it. I'm putting it on. There we go. It's from the Game Awards website, and we're going to just go through, see what won. See what won, right? So off we go. First up, I don't know which is this one. Hang on, I'll go to next and see what it says. Right, okay. First up, right, Game of the Year. That's what we're looking at. Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields, and the winner, there we go, was Baldur's Gate from Larian Studios, which I've not played. So there. What were the other? Were these the other? Yes, these must have been the other nominees. So other nominees: Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, which is like a remake, wasn't it? Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which I've heard is really good. But Baldur's Gate 3 won, where you can have sex with a bear, apparently. So there we go. So that was the Game of the Year. What's next up? Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. The winner for that, Alan Wake 2. I've not played that either. I don't think I've played any of these games. And it were all the same nominees. Look, for all the others: Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, blah, blah, blah. So there we go. Best Narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in the game. Alan Wake 2 won that one. And this one we've got Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Spider-Man 2. But Alan Wake won that one. I'm not a big Alan Wake fan. I tried playing the original one, from like a million years ago, but I didn't like it. So that's why I've not bothered with this one. Best Art Direction for outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Alan Wake won that one as well. Crikey. It's, didn't win Game of the Year, but won every bloody thing else, hasn't it, by the scene? Also nominated Hi-Fi Rush, never heard of it. Lies of P, which I've heard of, but not played. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. What's next? Best Score and Music. Outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and/or licensed soundtrack. Archmage Frey says, Alan Wake 1 is one of my faves, but I haven't tried 2. I said that I tried Alan Wake 1, but I said I couldn't get into it. Maybe I should give it another go. I think we still got it somewhere for Xbox 360. Probably. Anyway, what's this? I forgot what this one was. Best Score and Music, and the winner of that was Final Fantasy 16 composer Masayoshi Soken. Other nominations were Alan Wake 2, Petri Alanko, Baldur's Gate 3, Borislav Slavov. Is that the most Russian or Eastern European name ever? Hi-Fi Rush, Shuichi Kobori, and Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, composed by Nintendo Sound Team. Team effort, eh? So there we go. But Final Fantasy 16 won that one. Come on, Alan Wake, you're slipping. Best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Hi-Fi Rush. I've never bloody heard of it. Never heard of it. That one. Other nominees: Alan Wake 2, Dead Space. Oh, well, there's a remake of that out, isn't there? Is it a remake or a reboot, or whatever you want to call it? Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4. My son's played that. I've not played any of these remakes of Resident Evils. Not played any of them. And to be honest, I wasn't even a huge fan of the original Resident Evil 4. Shock horror. I won't. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice-over acting, motion, and/or performance capture. Right, who won that one? Neil Newborn for Baldur's Gate 3, and there he is. Other nominees were Ben Starr for Final Fantasy XVI, Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which I'm getting for Christmas. I know, because I wrapped it up. To Dad, love from Aiden. He's no idea. Idris Elba, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Everybody knows Idris Elba. Or as Americans call him, Idris Elba. Melanie I'm saying probably mispronouncing that. Liberd, Alan Wake 2. And Yuri Lowenthal, Spider-Man 2. I don't know how many of these categories there are, by the way. Innovation in accessibility, not inaccessibility. I don't call him that, says Archmage Frey. Okay. I've seen other people say Idris. Anyway, maybe it's just a regional thing for America. I don't know. What were we? Innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and our hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. The winner for that was Forza Motorsport, which I've heard of. I think I've actually might have a copy of one of them somewhere. But other nominations were Diablo 4, but it's not saying how they did it, is it? What did they do? Have mind control or something, or put a helmet on and I don't know. Hi-Fi Rush, again, never heard of that game. Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. They lost out to Forza Motorsport. Games for Impact, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Pardon me. All of these games I bet I've never heard of. But the winner was Cheer. There we go. Never heard of it. No, I've not heard of any of them. A Space for the Unbound, other nominations. A Space for the Unbound, never heard of it. Chants of Senna, never heard of it. Goodbye Volcano High, never heard of it. Terra Nil and Venba. Are these all like indie games or something? I don't know. I've never heard of any of them. I call myself a gamer. I don't. Right. Best ongoing. Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. This is the DLC award, isn't it? The Downloadable Content Award. Cyberpunk 2077 won that one. Which I've got. And I've started playing it. I've not got very far. Other nominees, Apex Legends. I've heard of that. Final Fantasy 14. Fortnite, as I've said before, I once tried to load that game up because it's a free game, isn't it? Downloaded it, installed it, didn't get past the menu. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what option to pick, so I just uninstalled it. Genshin Impact. Oh, there we go. They were the other nominees, but the winner was Cyberpunk 2077. Best community support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates/patches. And the winner was Baldur's Gate 3. Other nominees, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky. Cool. Which I've played No Man's Sky. Anyway, what's next one? Best independent game for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. And the winner was Sea of Stars. I've never heard of any of these. Sea of Stars was the winner. Other nominees, Cocoon, which I suspect has nothing to do with the 1980s film duology. The original Cocoon's amazing. The sequel's fine. But Ron Howard directed the original. Dave the Diver. Sounds interesting. Dredge. Well, judging from the image, it's about sailing. Dredging, I imagine. And Viewfinder. Right. Now, they were the best indie games. Best debut indie game. The best debut game created by a new independent studio. The winner, Cocoon, from Geometric Interactive, Annapurna Interactive. Well, I'm sure that Annapurna's not new, is it? Maybe Geometric are. Other nominees, Dredge from Black Salt Games / Team 17. Team 17 is not new. They've been around for decades, haven't they? In fact, their headquarters, what used to be, not far from me. Well, the next city over. There used to be Wakefield, which is not far from me. Anyway, other nominees, Pizza Tower, Tour de Pizza, Venba, Visi Games, Viewfinder, Sadal Studios, Thunderful Publishing. We're nearly done. Best mobile game. For the best game playable on a mobile device. There's no card games. That's all I play. On word games. That's all I play on my phone. Oh dear. Anyway, the winner was Honkai Star Rail. I think these games are proper games that, I'd never play on my phone. Other nominees, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Monster Hunter Now. Don't tell my son about that. I'll be wanting to see if I can play it on the tablet. Terra Nil. Right. Must be near the end now. Must be near. I'm going to check. I'm going to view all categories. We're up to best VR AR. Oh, God, there's loads. We're not going through all these. Christ almighty, I'll be here all bloody night. We're only halfway. We'll leave it there. If you want to watch, the link's in the description. You can go. I tell you what, we'll power through. Right, best VR. Come on, what are you doing? There we go. Best VR winner, Resident Evil Village VR mode. Right, we'll just do the winners. Best action game, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. Right. Best action adventure, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. That won that one. Cool. Next, best RPG, Baldur's Gate 3. Best fighting. By the way, I think you can cast votes. Yes, you can. So it must be voted by the public who wins this. I'm guessing. I don't know. Best fighting game, anyway. Street Fighter 6. Best family game, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Best sim strategy. Why can't I say that? Pikmin 4. Is that a sim strategy? Must be. Best sports racing, Forza Motorsport. Best multiplayer, Baldur's Gate 3. Best adaptation, The Last of Us. What do they mean? Recognize? All right. Faithfully adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. All right. So they've all been made into movies or TV shows. And Last of Us won that one. And they were good. Most anticipated game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth won that one. Also in the list, just like I mentioned it, Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm kind of looking forward to be honest. Content creator, content creator of the year, that old Yorkshire geek. Oh no, it didn't. Iron Mouse. Oh. That's for by the way, that for a streamer or content creator who's made an important positive impact on the community in 2023. So that old Yorkshire geek. Best esports game winner for that, Valorant. Never heard of it. In fact, I've heard of League of Legends, and I've heard of Dota 2 and Counter-Strike. And I've heard of that as well. I've never played them. Never played Counter-Strike. Never. Best esports athlete. The winner, Lee Faker Sang-hyuk. I suspect he's South Korean. But anyway, yeah, athletes. The more athletic than me. Best esports team, JD Gaming. Best esports coach, Christine Potter Chi. Is that because she's got roundish glasses? Don't know. Best esports event 2023 League of Legends World Championships. They're massive, aren't they? I've never seen, I've never been to one, obviously, but I've like seen clips and stuff. They have them in huge arenas and like thousands of people there. By the way, Attribution Face says, I loved Counter-Strike in 2001 or so. I never got around to playing it. So I don't know why, but it was in the orange box and all that, they did for Half-Life 2 and all that. Never got round to it. What's that? I'll vote for TOYG. Yes, well, thank you. I'm guessing that's what you meant. I'll vote for TOYG. Oh, that's it. Right, we've done. That was it. We powered through them. Right. That was the last story. That was. So there we go. So we'll leave it there. Pressing the wrong buttons. Hang on. There we go. Right. We'll leave it there. Correct. Right. What's coming up? What have I got coming up? It's Sunday. So tomorrow is Monday. So it's Magnificent Monday Day. What's happening? My hair's going doolally again. Look. It's Magnificent Monday. Tomorrow we're doing Starship Troopers. I've got the DVD. Remember last week? Not last week. When they were supposed to do it before, I said I watched it, and I wanted to see the what do they call it now? The director's commentary, and it isn't on the Blu-ray, and it's on the DVD. And I said I couldn't get to my DVD. It's in a box somewhere upstairs behind loads of other stuff piled on top of it. I couldn't get to it, so I just bought a new copy off Amazon. Only £4. And this has got the director's commentary on, so I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. But that's what we're doing tomorrow. Starship Troopers, cool film. Wednesday it'll be my news stream. I'll have the next episode review of Monarch Friday or Saturday, probably Saturday. Maybe. It's not going well in Monarch. If it gets any worse, I'll stop doing it. But we're only halfway through the season. First 3 episodes were okay. Episodes 4 and 5 were rubbish, in my opinion. But anyway. Right. What else? Next Friday, we're doing Sint for Appointment with Fear. Friday night Appointment with Fear. We're doing Sint, aka Saint, the Dutch Christmassy horror film, which is good. Which I don't have. Well, I do. I've got a DVD somewhere, but I can't find it. But I've got it on Amazon Prime. Bought it on Amazon Prime. But as we know, you don't buy things on Amazon Prime, do you? Digitally. It's essentially a long-term lease, isn't it? Which could disappear at any time. But anyway, I bought it. Right. So that's what's happening the next week. Right. So we'll leave it there. No, there won't. I'll be reviewing Doctor Who, but there won't be one, will there? Because we're done with them. So watch my Doctor Who reviews that's on the channel in the live section. I don't think YouTube, pushes the live stuff, into search things and all that and recommendeds. But they're there in my live section. So give them a look and see if you agree with me or disagree. And if you disagree, fair enough. If you agree, cool. Right, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Thanks, Archmage Frey, for dropping in. And Jimmy, Scottish Geek Guy, subscribe to both their channels, Archmage Frey, Windgrace Project. That's his... Never mind. You never see him in the same room as Windgrace. We'll leave it at that. And subscribe to Scottish Geek Guy as well, because he's always doing amazing unboxings in 4K as well. I can't do 4K stuff. I haven't got enough hard drives to render in 4K. But yes, he does great presentations, the Scottish Geek Guy. And Archmage Frey, aka Windgrace, sorry, I'm outing you. There's great reviews of stuff like Frasier. A lot of stuff I don't watch, like Frasier and Quantum Leap. But give him a watch, because he's really good at reviewing stuff. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the... My thumb all dirty. It looks it, doesn't it? I'll say the...